What's going on, guys? It's Philip Benz with Benz Productions, and today is Tutorial Tuesday. Actually, it's Thursday, but I've been meaning to get this video for a while now. We actually just got back traveling from Alaska, so things have been a little crazy, and good news, business is actually starting to pick up from this whole pandemic thing. So yeah, I just gotta get better with managing my time with these tutorial videos and the breakdown videos, so I apologize in advance for that. In the meantime though, if you are new to this channel, I want you to go ahead and click that subscribe button so you can be notified every single time that I post a new video, a tutorial, a breakdown, one of my new projects. Go ahead and hit that notification bell so you're notified every single time. If you're watching on Facebook, definitely go ahead and click the like button. Go ahead and share it, comment. Give me good comments, bad comments, I don't care. Any feedback's good feedback for me, so I'm all for it. But let's go ahead and get into this thing. So what we're going to be doing today, guys, is we're going to be going over audio. Now, audio is probably the most important thing when it comes down to making any video. Sorry, guys, I'm trying to get my notes together. So let's say that you make a video that is just really, really good looking. Like, I mean, the lighting's on point. All the camera movements are really good. Everything's in focus. The story's good. But then let's say that you cheap out and you skimp out on audio. That's going to be so noticeable, and a lot of times a viewer is going to not even watch the entire video all the way through just because the audio is so bad. I see it happen a lot, and every kind of newbie filmmaker out there, they always think like, oh, like the camera has audio, like the onboard mic's gonna be perfect. I'm gonna tell you why that's not the case. So the very first thing I'm gonna do is kind of give you guys two different examples. I'm gonna show you guys bad audio, and then I'm gonna show you guys good audio. So let's start with the good first, that way we kind of have a starting point. So let's go ahead and check this out.
Thank you everybody for coming here tonight. I was trying to think of something profound to say, but I did realize one thing now that I've had a son married and a daughter married. For a father, it's different.
You can literally hear every single word that he said. You can make out every word that he said, and that is what you want. I'm going to show you bad audio. This is the same exact clip, except now what I'm going to do is I'm only going to play the onboard microphone. So what onboard audio microphone means is it's the little mic that's built into the camera body. So let's go ahead and check that out.
Thank you everybody for coming here tonight. I was trying to think of something profound to say, but I did realize one thing now that I've had a son and a daughter. For a father, it's different.
Huge difference. So very important right there, very important example as to why you need good audio. Now let's go ahead and get into how we get good audio. I'm going to kind of break down a couple of different options for you guys, and I'm going to go over my own personal preference, which is plan A, plan B, and plan C. So the very first thing that we're going to talk about is the on-camera mic, and my light just went out because I didn't charge it before I left Alaska. So we'll be back in just a second. And we are back. So sorry if you guys are just now tuning in, my light went out in the middle of recording, so I have enough window light right here. If you watch one of my tutorials on lighting, then you know that this right here is somewhat doable right now, so we're just gonna get on with it. So what we were talking about was good audio versus bad audio, on-camera mic versus an external mic. What is an external microphone? An external microphone is literally any audio source that's not coming from the camera body itself. So your camera is going to have a little microphone built into it. It's not going to be a high quality microphone. It's not going to be really good audio, but it's going to be enough to actually like pick up, for example, if I'm shooting this right now, I'm going to switch over to that mic right now. Okay, so right now I'm on the onboard microphone of the camera. You can probably still hear me. I'm not listening to it right now, but you can probably still hear me pretty well. There's probably some background noise in there. Actually, both my kids are playing upstairs, so if they're doing anything, I can't hear them right now, but if they're doing anything, you might hear that in the audio. So this is not a high quality microphone. It's not really honing in on what the subject is saying. Now we're back to this lapel microphone. So this lapel microphone is actually considered an external audio source. So what I'm doing right now is I actually have this lapel mic, that thing right there, that's plugged into this Zoom audio recorder. And what I'm gonna do later when I go to edit this is actually use a software called Pluraleyes. I'm gonna hit a button and it's literally going to sync everything up in seconds. And then I'm gonna import that into my editor, which is Final Cut X, and then I'm gonna cut it all together and upload the video, and then at this point you guys should be seeing it. So that's the difference between an on-camera mic and an external mic. So let's talk about what this thing is right here, a Zoom recorder or any external recorder. Tons of companies make these things right here. I have always preferred Zoom. I like the shape of it, I like the size of it, and it helps me just get what I need. And it's not overly complicated either. We don't want something that's just gonna be like, just, you know, there's a button here, there's a button there, there's a knob there, there's, you know, these inputs, that input. I just need something that's going to get me the audio that I need. Now, those ones do have their applications, so I'm not knocking those or anything, but they do have the applications, but for me personally, I don't need that. So let's talk about this guy right here. So what I'm right now using this for is to use this lapel as the microphone, and what this is doing is this is just recording everything that I am saying through the microphone so I can upload it to my computer later. Now, the good thing about this is I can control the levels. My favorite thing of all is the hold switch. I click this thing up. It doesn't matter if you press buttons or anything like that. Nothing is gonna happen because the hold switch is activated. Now, I'm gonna go over my plan A, my plan B, and my C. So I use this at every single wedding. I use this for any type of live event. I don't use this for commercial shoots because commercial shoots are well planned. You know, for example, on a commercial shoot, I'm gonna make sure that I have a particular way that I want to capture the audio. I'm not gonna go for a plan A, B, or C. I'm gonna go for what I know is gonna work perfect in that situation. With a live event, you have to be ready for multiple options and for things to go wrong. That's why I have 3 different options. So, plan A. I order these in importance. So plan A is the most important. So in a perfect world, let's say for a wedding, I want to go ahead and put a lapel mic on. The reason why is because it's reliable. Since I'm using this system right here, it's not wireless, I'm not gonna get any feedback. Since I have my hold switch, I know if they press any buttons, it's not gonna do anything. The only thing that I have to worry about is the recorder itself dying from battery. That's the only thing I have to worry about. If I change the battery beforehand, I mean, this thing can record for hours, so I'm not worried about battery life. Plan B is getting your direct feed from the soundboard itself. So let's say we're at a wedding, we have a DJ, or we have a church that has their own soundboard and this and that. What we're gonna do is we're gonna plug this or any recorder you have, we're gonna plug this up directly to the master out. Okay, so the master out is gonna give you everything. It's gonna give you music, it's gonna give you audio, it's gonna give you the microphones, it's gonna give you sound, it's gonna give you everything. What I like to do personally is always like to ask the DJ or whoever's running sound first. I like to say, hey, you know, my name's so-and-so, I'm doing so-and-so on the wedding day or at the event. Are you cool with me plugging this recorder into your live feed so I can go ahead and get the best possible audio possible? I always ask that they plug it in. Now, you can plug this in a couple of different ways. I have the little headphone jack, okay? So this is not one that has an XLR on the bottom or anything like that, so don't worry about those. What you can do is there's several different ways that you can come out of a DJ booth or a sound system. You can go RCA to headphone jack. That's what I personally do. If they don't have an RCA jack in the back, then 9 times out of 10, they always have an XLR. If they don't have an XLR, you can use a 1/4 inch. So there's tons of different ways and tons of different adapters in order to make sure you have the right quality audio coming out of the board. So that's plan B. Plan C. So this is always kind of like my last ditch effort. I want to make sure that we get at least decent usable audio to where if a guest or if my client is listening to it, they're not going to be thrown off. But if someone like me is listening to it, they're going to be like, oh, okay, like they didn't use the perfect audio, but they still got what they needed. So plan C is what I like to do is I like to put this recorder, I'll put it on a tripod or a light stand, There's a little screw right here that you can put the light stand tip into. And what I personally do is I'll stand on a chair and I will put this thing directly in front of the speaker. Not the person speaking, but the DJ speaker or the house venue speaker. What that's gonna do is that audio, and I'm talking about like this close. I try to get as close as I can. You don't want it touching because you're gonna get that vibration, but you wanna get as close as you can. And typically, best case scenario, you wanna ask the DJ for a sound check without music. So that way you can get your audio levels perfect. Or what you can do is if you're listening to music, through the DJ's speaker, then you can just go ahead and put the levels to what the music is at. And that'll typically be a little bit higher than what someone speaking is at. But just kind of be safe with that one. So that is how I get my audio for any live event or any commercial shoot or anything like that. Now, a couple points I want to point on before we wrap this thing up is don't cheap out and forget audio. I touched on in the beginning, the most noticeable thing that anyone is going to pick out is how good or how bad your audio is. If it's good, they're not going to pick it out. If it's bad, they're going to pick it out. And you would rather them not have them pick out a problem or a plus in your video than pick out a problem. So, don't cheap out. These things, this thing's $100, and this was $100 like 7 years ago when I bought it. They last a long time. The plastic is cheap, but the plastic doesn't make the audio. The speakers do. This lapel mic right here, I get all my mics off of Amazon. These are very good but cheap microphones. I want to say they're between $24 and $34. So I have 3 of them. So I have 3 of the same exact setup when it comes to audio, so I can do plan A, B, and C. And just in case any of those fail, I know at least one of them will work. So that's how I do that. Don't use it's time consuming as an excuse. The thing I see constantly is I don't have enough time on the wedding day. I don't have enough time during a live event. Bullshit. Stop making excuses. All you need to do is plan. If you plan the shoot before anything actually happens, before the shoot day, then you will have enough time allocated to actually get good audio, get good lighting, and make sure that your production day goes as smoothly and productively as possible. Very last thing, using Pluraleyes to sync up audio. I touched on this a little bit earlier too. When you're using Pluraleyes, this is not a free software, but it's pretty affordable. I want to say it's like $300 the last time I bought it. But when you're using Pluraleyes, it's very simple. There's tons of YouTube videos that you can go on tutorial with. But basically, in its essence, what it does is it will sync your external audio files to your internal camera, and all you do is just mute the camera audio, and at that point you have perfect audio. Of course, you'll have to do some editing to it. You'll have to, if it's a mono, then you're gonna have to make it stereo, which means it's coming out of both ears instead of one. If the levels are a little bit low, you're gonna have to maybe rubber band that a little bit to bring the levels up and bring them down and make sure everything's nice and consistent. It's just like color grading or telling a story. You're doing the same thing, you're putting in the same work with audio. So, you gotta hold everything to the same standard, whether it's your story, whether it's your shooting style, whether it's your color grading and it's audio. All of these need to be on the same level, and honestly, all need to have dedicated time towards them. So yeah, that is all about audio. Some things I did not mention. I did not mention shotgun mics because I personally don't use them. Not saying they're not good, it's just for the applications that I use audio for, I don't necessarily need shotgun mics. So, hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'm sorry it took me 3 weeks to upload another video, but as we kind of come out of this whole pandemic coronavirus thing, I think that I'm starting to get more busy, which I'm super thankful for. Hopefully you guys are starting to get more busy out there and able to go back to work. But I still plan on putting these videos out. So do me a favor, guys, if you like this video, if you watch the whole thing through, comment below. Give me the next thing you want to learn. Give me the next thing that you want me to touch on or talk about. I think the only way that we get better in this industry or in anything is just through experience and learning from other people. I don't have all the answers. I don't know everything, but I've been at this now for 8 or 9 years full time, so I feel like I'm doing something right. So any way that I can help, I'm all for it. So comment below, let me know. Someone's calling me right now, so I guess I'll see you guys later, and until next time, later guys.